All right guys, so today I'm working out back. I thought I'd show everyone how my routine is and what I do and why I train the way I do. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. So let's get into it. So my first exercise you can see is just doing some back rows using a machine. This is actually a very special machine they only have at Pure Muscle and Fitness. And it's a great one because it really activates the rhomboids in a different way and allows you to have a long stretch as well, which allows for a good, what's called the eccentric portion. And we know that eccentric portion, which is the lengthening component of the exercise, stimulates more muscle damage, which ultimately leads to more muscle growth. And so I really enjoy this exercise, and not only because it's a great machine and activates the muscles, but I also find it really isn't too taxing on my neurological system as a barbell row might be. And so right now I'm doing more of a bodybuilding style routine, so I don't want to tax my neurological system too much and focus more on volume as opposed to intensity. And yeah, in general, I think when you guys are training and trying to figure out how to organize your program, you really want to think about why you're doing what you're doing. A lot of people just work out by just watching other people or by looking at other influencers online, but there is a science behind this, and exercise and strength science has come a long way, especially in the last decade. And most people actually don't need to do specialized training. So they actually need to just start out with like a high frequency full body routine where they're training upper and lower body. Or to just need to start with a high frequency training program where they're just doing a full body split 3 times a week. 2 to 3 times a week is more than sufficient to make good gains when you're a beginner. And you can do that for up to a year and then transfer to something like an upper lower body split twice a week. So working out 4 days a week for about 2-3 years, and then once you're intermediate and you're able to do certain lifts, then you can progress to more advanced specialized body part training. But a lot of people jump straight into advanced specialized body part training because they see other bodybuilders doing it. But the reality is those bodybuilders are genetically gifted, almost all of them are enhanced, and because of that they're able to do that and their body will respond to it regardless. But if you want to optimize it, especially if you're natural, you need to do it in this type of format. So even though I'm working out back, as you see in the workout, and doing a specialized training program, that's because I'm an advanced lifter and I've been working out for over a decade, and I've done powerlifting and upper lower body and full body training and all that for the past several years. So I'm at a point in my lifting career where I can transfer to this type of specialized training. And then one of my other favorite exercises here is doing dumbbell rows. And the key with this is really stabilizing your core. I actually learned it from Jordan Shallows, the muscle doc. He gave me a good technique, and that is almost like an anti-core rotation exercise where you're actually bracing and stabilizing your core and preventing your torso from rotating. And by preventing your torso from rotating, you're actually stabilizing those musculature around there to help prevent back problems. And a lot of people I know obviously get back problems, and that's probably the most common thing I treat nowadays. And I've been able to deadlift almost 600 pounds and squat over 400 pounds, even though my body's not designed for it and I haven't been injured. And I think the big part of that is because of these anti-rotation core and anti-extension core exercises. And it's not about strength, it's about stability. So that's the key to really preventing back injuries. I think a lot of people, when they train, they're focused on activating their muscles, but they don't keep in mind about injury prevention. So it's good to think about both and how to design that in a program. So now we're doing a lat pull down type of exercise. It's not quite a lat pull down where it's not your generic machine. It's a very customized, specialized machine that we only have at Pure. But again, these machines are really awesome because they can activate the muscles in ways that you can't do with dumbbells or barbells. It can really isolate the muscle. And again, right now, because I'm doing a bodybuilding routine, I want to activate muscle and focus more on volume, which is like 8 to 12 reps, as opposed to strength training, which is more like 3 to 6 reps. And so you can see me pause at the bottom and activate the muscle, and that's really how I'm going to activate my latissimus dorsi, or your lat muscles in the back. The key for me is really pausing at the bottom to help activate the muscle. And in general, I think a lot of people, they want to build strong backs or they want to build strong muscles. The key is not actually to do this type of isolated training, even though, again, you see me doing it. I built a foundation on powerlifting, and I did that for several years before I went back into bodybuilding, and I built my strength up before I went into this. And that's the way to do it if you're natural, because that's the only way you're going to reach your genetic potential. If you're enhanced, it doesn't really matter because you can do any training and your body will respond to it. But if you're not enhanced, you have to have very intelligent periodization, and that's actually challenging, and that's why I do recommend coaches for people, because they can help guide you through that process. I personally use the coach Hanny at the Strength Athlete, and I found him to be great and highly recommend them. They will only work with natural lifters, and they're great at designing programs for you and helping to guide you on how to progress. Progression is really the key, and doing that is actually harder than it seems, because a lot of people just show up and do the same routine over and over, and it's really difficult to actually make progress and get stronger when you're just doing the same thing, because your body's very smart. If you just do the same thing over and over, your body adapts and gets used to it, and then you can't do it anymore. And then your body just won't have any more new stimulus or new response, so it won't actually grow muscle, and it won't stimulate the same cellular signaling pathways to help with your health. And so muscle confusion was a term that was popular probably a decade or so ago. It's not quite to that extent, but the principle of changing up your routine is still important, but you have to do it in an intelligent way, not just a haphazard way where you're just doing something different for the sake of doing something different. And now for kind of finisher exercise, it's another machine-based exercise. We're just doing a seated row. And again, this is just a cool machine I like at Pure Muscle, and it really helps me to activate my rhomboids. And it feels great, get a great stretch and great pump. And also I find that if I do enough volume, I still get sore. And to me, that's a good sign, because I'm causing enough muscle damage as well to stimulate muscle growth. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please share and subscribe.